Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am Helen, you're watching Stitch Rip Repeat, and this is my Friday sews for this week. You will know if you follow me regularly that I didn't put up a Friday sews last week, so this will be a catch up on the last 2 weeks. The main reason I didn't get a chance to film one last week is because my husband works away during the week, so we only normally see him at the weekends. However, he got home Thursday evening and had the day off Friday, and while the children were at school we took the opportunity to spend a bit of time together because he is now away with his work until the middle of December, and I will obviously not see him, but also due to his particular job I probably won't get a chance to hear from him, so I wanted to spend Friday with him. And earlier in the week, on Monday, I had my COVID vaccine. I had the Moderna, which has only fairly recently been approved for use here in the UK. And I had a very sore arm from sort of when I had it for the next couple of days. But luckily, I didn't have any other side effects. So I had hoped to get more sewing done last week. But because of the sore arm, I didn't really feel like sewing. So I only actually got round to doing some sewing on the Thursday before my husband came home. So I'll show you that in a second. I did, however, manage to get out on the Wednesday with a good friend of mine down here in Plymouth. And we went to our favourite shop, which is Make at 140 down here in Plymouth. So I will be showing you more fabrics, surprise, surprise. There was a pattern released last week, which I'm very excited to say I tested for. So I'll be telling you all about that. As I said, there was a pattern release last week, and it was the ever so gorgeous Jayne of Loopy Mabels Closet. As with everything, if you follow me, you'll know I'll put all the details I talk about. So Jayne and the patterns link will be down in the description below, but it was for her first ever sewing pattern. She has designed a lovely pinafore called the Poppy Pinafore. It went on release last Wednesday, 21st of April, and as I say, I was a tester for it. So I will pop in some photos of my Poppy Pinafore. I used a lovely fine black needle cord, and I believe that was from Felicity Fabrics. And I also used some lovely rainbow buttons. Now this pattern is a very straightforward, slightly oversized, therefore very comfy pinafore, and it just has a plain bib and a gathered skirt with inseam pockets and a button placket down the back. Now I chose to do the rainbow buttons as permanent buttons because when I tried it on, I found that I could take it on and off without having to undo any of the buttons. And if I can avoid ever sewing buttonholes, I will. So I was really happy with how the buttons turned out, except for one little niggling fact, which is that I put on 5 buttons, whereas I think the pattern recommended 3, maybe 4. I'm sure I'll double check and let you know. But on my 3rd button, I don't know how well you'll see this, so I may have to put in photos. But on my 3rd button here, the bobbin ran out because I used my machine to put buttons on. I know, I'm so lazy. I don't like hand sewing anything if I can help it. So I had to take it off and replace the bobbin, and my mistake, I forgot to double check my placement before I sewed it on. So I have got a slight uneven spacing going on. However, I will rectify that. As I say, there's no buttonholes. So I'm just gonna take that button off and I will reattach it. As you can see here, because it was plain black and I don't like to wear a lot of plain black these days, I did a really bright gold sparkly bias binding, as the neckline and the armholes are finished in bias binding. And I also, in my fairly invisible inseam pockets, used one of my So Haley Jayne fat quarters. So it's this gorgeous blossom metallic fat quarter that I had with the flowers and all those bright colours. So yeah, so although from photos of me wearing it, it looks very plain, I have given it those pops of colour in the bias binding. Jayne does give you instructions to make your own bias binding from your fabric so you can have it matching, which I think is fab. And as I say, the button placket on the back, I did these gorgeous rainbow buttons. And then, yeah, it's got this lovely gathered skirt. And I found it a really easy and enjoyable make. Jayne's instructions were fantastic. And I am planning to make a couple more. I did make the size large based on the measurements in the pattern. But as I think a few people said, it's because it's an oversized pattern anyway. I probably could get away with shaving it down to a medium next time. So I will try that. But apart from that, yeah, absolutely love it. And the fabric I got, you may recognise, I used for the pocket full skirt by Stitched in Wonderland as well. Lovely, gorgeous fabric to sew with, and I love how it looks. So if you are interested in purchasing the Poppy Pinafore for yourself, as I said, I'll pop the link below. It is not an affiliate link, so I don't get anything for it, but it just helps if you're interested to buy it, you can go directly there. Also, I highly recommend checking out the two lovely ladies, Michelle and Karen. Michelle of Sewing Bunny and Karen of So Little Time. They've both done fabulous versions and reviews on their YouTube channels, which, as I say, I'll pop in the description for you. And obviously check out Jayne at Loopy Mabels Closet on Instagram. She has a gorgeous selection of her poppy pinafores on there, and of course if you don't follow her you should. So yeah, that released on Wednesday, so that was very exciting. As I say, on Wednesday I also popped to my favourite fabric shop here in Plymouth, which is Make at 140. So I had a £65 voucher which I could use at the shop because I had signed up for an event last year, which obviously because of the situation didn't go ahead, and they were hoping to be able to hold it this year, but as it was meant to be in April, again, unfortunately it had to be cancelled. So luckily for me, I had this lovely £65 to spend in the shop, and I went into the shop and I was adamant I would not be swayed by all the gorgeous prints that Lizzie always has. She has some gorgeous fabrics. She is really good at picking fabrics that people would love and that are not necessarily too common. But I decided I was going to get some plain fabrics, and originally I thought like stone coloured, maybe grey, navy blue, you know, basics, because I want to make some summer trousers and some summer skirts. But I will show you what I got. I was not swayed by the patterns, and I did get plain, and this is what I got. Okay, so I have to say up front, if you haven't watched my channel before, you may not be aware that I am really rubbish at remembering types of fabrics. So I'll show you and say, oh, this is lovely, I love this, I love that. If I don't say what it is, it's because I can't remember. So that is the case with these. I actually cannot remember. I think they're linen or linen based. If I can find them on her website, I will pop what they are probably on the screen, if not down below. But I got this gorgeous bright, and I hope it comes up well on the screen, because if not, I'll pop in a photo. But this gorgeous bright orange, which I think it's a dyed linen. Anyway. So I am hoping to make this into the skirt I showed you in my previous video when I got the 3 patterns from Waffle Patterns, and I think this will be gorgeous in this lovely bright orange, and it just was so summery that I thought it'd be lovely in a nice summery skirt for this year. So I got about 1.5 meters of that one because it's not a very long skirt, so I think that should be fine. And then I got 2 meters of these 2 fabrics. So this one, I don't know, I think it would be called like a coral colour. I'm fairly certain this is a linen as well. I got this to make probably a skirt. So I'm thinking I might use this for the pocketful skirt by Stitched in Wonderland. Because I just loved that colour, and I have said previously I do want to make more skirts, and I have many skirt patterns, but I don't think I've made, apart from the pocketful skirt, I think I've made one other skirt. So yeah, I want to get more skirts, so I've got those 2 lovely ones. And then lastly, this one does feel different. So when I say it's linen, I have no idea what I'm talking about, do I? Because I said they're all linen. But I got this gorgeous blue, which I would say, oh, I don't know, kind of almost a denim blue. And I'm planning on making a pair of wide, loose summer trousers with these. I've got a few patterns, so when I've decided which one, I might well show it on here. But I did go with the blue for obvious reasons, my favourite colour, but also I have a lot of tops that I think will go well with this, that have a blue base to them, or also just obviously a white would be nice. So I got those 3 fabrics from Make, and in case you were wondering, I did go over my £65 voucher. I promised myself, no, I've got a voucher, that's all I'll spend. But I picked up 2 fabrics originally, which would have been within the voucher, and then I couldn't resist that bright orange for the skirt. So I've got some lovely new fabrics to play with. And last week, as I said, I had that sore arm from the COVID vaccine, but I did get one thing sewn up, and that is this. And it is a pyjama top for my 11-year-old son. I'm hoping you can see that it's got controllers and game over all over it. If you saw my, sorry, it's all creased and dirty because he wears it, so I've stolen this off his bed. I got the lovely Made by Mummy label in there, which is from Fabuloso, and this pattern was based off of an old pyjama top he had, which you hopefully were seen previously in a video where I made him a grey top with a silver polar bear on, and I just used the same pattern for this, and it's a plain pyjama but with his chosen fabric. So that is what I got up to last week. Now moving on to this week. So last week I had a sore arm from my vaccine. Well, this week I have sore ears. I got my ears pierced on Monday. Very funny experience at my age, but I had them pierced when I was 11 or 12 and wore earrings for years. But then when my youngest daughter came along nearly 10 years ago, I then had 4 children aged 5 and under, and A, they kept grabbing at my ears, which is very painful, and B, because I wasn't going out much and I was staying at home, I wasn't putting earrings in very much because I didn't want the grabbing and I wasn't dressing up. So gradually my holes closed over in my ears, and for years I'd been saying I wanted to get them redone, and so I did. So I have a little bit of sore ears, but you will hopefully see in future videos fab earrings. That's my plan. I want to get some really nice, preferably I'd like to support small businesses. So if you can recommend anyone that makes their own earrings that you buy from and you like, please do stick those in the comments. I'd really appreciate it, because I want to jazz up my earring collection now that I've got my ears re-pierced. The other thing I have done this week is I have sewn a tester pattern, and I can't give you any details at the moment. We've only just sent in our photos and feedback as of yesterday. I'll pop in a tiny little sneak peek for you, hopefully here, and just keep your eyes peeled over the next couple of weeks. And when it is released and I can talk about it, I will talk about it. So I've got No plans specifically for the weekend or the week ahead. As I say, my husband's away, it's a bank holiday weekend, so I'm hoping to spend some time with the children. Having said that, they tend to spend their entire free time locked away in their rooms. So we'll see. I may end up sewing all weekend. Oh, quickly, before I sign off, which I was about to do, I had a delivery not half an hour ago of fabric. Yes, fabric. I ordered these, I think they're meter cuts of some ribbing in some new colours. So obviously we've got this lovely purple sort of plum colour. I got the gorgeous petrol blue and also a basic grey. So I am trying to build up my basics so that when I want to sew things I have them, and then obviously if I need to get a specific fabric for main parts, I know that I can usually dive into my stash and I can find plain jerseys, I can find matching ribbons. Ribbings. And if I want to do something jazzier, then I know to go to one of my amazing prints that I've got in my fabric stash. So that is about me for these last 2 weeks. Hopefully I will remember to record every week from now on, as my husband, as I say, won't be around. So on a Thursday or Friday I should be able to sit down and have my little chat with you guys and make sure that gets up on a Friday. Please do check out everybody else just by using the hashtag Friday Sews. There is lots of wonderful sewing vloggers out there. If you've enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up, and I'd love comments. I always love to read comments. And if you have watched my videos but haven't yet subscribed, I would really appreciate if you could. I will sign off for now, and I will see you all in my next video.